Hello, I'm Dilek Tuna. Welcome to AnewZ. Here are the headlines for the hour. Russia attacks Ukraine's Kharkiv again, hitting the children's railway. Ukraine's Zelensky says strikes are intended for destruction. US President Donald Trump deploys the National Guard as Los Angeles protests against immigration agents continue. Thousands of Muslim pilgrims took part in the stoning of the devil ritual in Mina Valley in Saudi Arabia as Hajj nears end. Ukraine's Kharkiv has come under renewed attack, with a children's railway park in the city's Central Park hit in the most recent strike on Saturday. It follows a wave of Russian drone and missile attacks over the last few days that have devastated residential areas, damaged dozens of buildings and killed at least 4 people.
On Saturday, Russia once again attacked Ukraine's Kharkiv with guided bombs, one of which hit a children's railway located in Central Park, killing 1 person and injuring 40 more.
Today is a day off. People come here to rest, and then a guided bomb strike. The children's railway was attacked. It's always full of people, full of children. This was a real act of terrorism.
The previous attack on Kharkiv was described as the most powerful attacks of the war by the mayor. Russian strikes between Friday night and Saturday hit civilian infrastructure, resulting in at least 4 deaths and injuring more than 60 people. Residential buildings were also hit. 18 apartment buildings and 13 houses were damaged in the overnight barrage.
These Russian attacks are not retaliatory. They are intended for destruction, complete destruction of life. And in every village and city, you see what Russian occupation really means. For more than 11 years, they've brought nothing but ruins and death. We must continue resisting. And I thank everyone around the world who is helping. Russia must be held accountable.
In retaliation, a Ukrainian drone attack targeting Moscow forced the closure of 2 of the key airports serving the capital, Russian authorities said early on Sunday. On Saturday, US President Donald Trump said he hadn't decided on a sanctions bill amidst growing pressure to stop the Russia-Ukraine war.
Well, I know the bill. I've studied the bill. We're going to see. I mean, if I think Russia will not be making a deal or stopping the bloodshed, 5 and 6 even. I've been saying 5 and 6, and now it's more. 1,000 a week soldiers being killed.
The latest strikes come amid increased efforts by European allies to push for an end to the war in Ukraine, as international pressure grows for peace and justice in the conflict.
Amid ongoing fighting in eastern Ukraine, police have evacuated vulnerable civilians from the front lines. Among them is 4-year-old Milana, who was fitted with body armor for her safety.
In Ukraine, danger looks and sounds like this. In eastern Ukraine, a police evacuation vehicle moves through the battered streets of Koistenivka as a drone detector picks up a threat overhead.
The situation in Kostiantynivka is very tense. It gets worse every day.
Amid the chaos, a fragile moment of protection. 4-year-old Milana is gently secured into body armor by police before the journey to safety.
I'm worried for my child. She needs to develop, go to kindergarten, learn and play with other children. We need to start a new life. She has to live her life and develop. She can't live her life sitting at home or in the yard.
They're among the lucky few who are safely moved into a quieter area in the Donetsk region, where Svetskova's older son awaits them. Elsewhere in the city, another life uprooted. Halnya is helped from her home with her cat by her side and the sound of shelling close behind. Her cat serves as a reminder of a life she now has to leave behind.
I found bombs in my garden. They destroyed so much. My bedding was hanging outside and then, boom, everything was tossed around.
One by one, civilians are being pulled from the fire. For now, they drive towards safety. But the war and its scars follow close behind.
Ukraine has released new drone footage showing a direct hit on a Russian strategic bomber at Belaya airbase in Irkutsk. The FPV drone is seen flying a long distance before striking the aircraft, with smoke visible from earlier attacks. The base houses long-range bombers used in missile strikes on Ukraine. This marks another deep target operation in Kyiv's campaign against Russia's air power. President Volodymyr Zelensky said 117 drones were used in the so-called Spider's Web operation by the SBU security service, striking 34% of strategic cruise missile carriers. The Kremlin has launched a formal investigation, calling the strike a serious breach. Officials say Russia will respond when it sees fit, as military bloggers slam the incident as a major intelligence failure. Protests against immigration raids in Los Angeles have continued for a second day. President Donald Trump has deployed 2,000 National Guard troops to restore order in the city and has banned the use of masks during demonstrations. The unrest has once again highlighted tensions between federal policies and local communities.
US President Donald Trump has ordered the deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles in response to unrest following raids targeting undocumented migrants. The protests, which began on June 6th, continued into the next day. Clashes occurred mainly in the Paramount District, home to many Latino residents, between the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and local people. Police used tear gas to disperse the crowds. During immigration operations this week, 118 people were detained, including 44 arrests on Friday alone. Trump praised the National Guard's response on the Truth Social platform, saying they did a great job. He also announced a ban on wearing masks during protests, questioning what are these people hiding and why. Donald Trump signed a presidential memorandum the day before to deploy the National Guard. The White House stated that the move aims to address lawlessness that has been allowed to fester. The protests have further highlighted the divide between Democrat-run Los Angeles and the Republican Trump administration. Trump described the demonstrations as being organized by radical left instigators and sometimes paid provocateurs.
In Colombia, potential presidential candidate Miguel Uribe Turbay is in critical condition after being shot 3 times, reportedly twice in the head, during a campaign event in Bogota. A 15-year-old suspect was arrested at the scene. Uribe was airlifted to a local clinic where supporters have gathered in vigil. His wife has urged the nation to pray, while the Colombian government and international leaders, including US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, condemn the attack as a threat to democracy. The local government is offering some $730,000 as a reward for information in the case. Tens of thousands of protesters gathered in Madrid's Plaza de España today, calling for the resignation of Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez. The demonstration, led by opposition leader Alberto Núñez Feijóo of the Popular Party, comes amid a growing political scandal involving Sánchez's inner circle.
Thousands have flooded Madrid's Plaza de España this weekend in a mass protest led by Conservative Popular Party leader Alberto Núñez Feijóo, who demands the resignation of Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez. Amid chants of Pedro Sánchez resign, Feijóo accused the socialist government of corruption and deception. These are claims Sánchez denies.
We are here as a country, standing up to a government that is lying to us. Here we are Spaniards who do not keep quiet. Surrender to democracy. Call elections. We want them now. Do it, if you're as democratic as you say.
The rally follows leaked recordings suggesting efforts to discredit investigators probing Sánchez's family. One official involved has since resigned. With over 100,000 attendees, the protest was one of the largest against Sánchez's government and a clear show of strength from Spain's opposition.
The European Commission is facing mounting pressure after German media alleged it secretly funded environmental NGOs to push its climate agenda. While Brussels denies any wrongdoing, the report has reignited debates over transparency, lobbying and the politicisation of green policy.
The European Commission is rejecting claims made by Welt am Sonntag, which alleged that up to €700,000 was paid to green NGOs through secret contracts to support climate policies, including legal action against German coal plants and opposition to the EU-Mercosur trade deal. According to the report, organisations like Client Earth and Friends of the Earth were among the beneficiaries. The paper claimed the Commission sought to leverage NGO influence to raise pressure on German industries and sway internal EU trade negotiations. Brussels firmly denies these allegations. It insists all funding was allocated transparently under the EU's LIFE programme, a €5.4 billion environmental funding mechanism. The Commission says these grants were awarded through standard procedures and published on its financial transparency system. Still, the issue has stirred political controversy across the bloc. The European People's Party, the largest group in the European Parliament, says the Commission may have crossed a line by indirectly using NGOs to lobby lawmakers, raising concerns about institutional neutrality. In January, the EU's Budget Commissioner acknowledged that some activities funded under the EU's LIFE programme may have been inappropriate, specifically those that involved directing NGOs to lobby members of the European Parliament. Though not illegal, the admission added fuel to political criticism. The European Court of Auditors later described the funding process as opaque, warning that the lack of clarity exposed the Commission to reputational risk, even though it found no violations of EU law or values. In response, the Commission issued new guidance in 2024. These instructions prohibit the approval of NGO work programs that contain overly specific lobbying activities targeting EU institutions. Brussels has also promised further safeguards and closer cooperation with the European Parliament and auditors to ensure better oversight. Meanwhile, NGOs involved in the report defended their role. Client Earth clarified that EU funds were used only for operational support in its German office and not for legal expenses, pushing back against the claim that Brussels orchestrated court action. Friends of the Earth did not comment publicly.
Hundreds have taken to the streets in Nice, France, ahead of the United Nations Ocean Conference, calling for urgent and meaningful action to protect the world's seas. The conference, co-hosted by France and Costa Rica, is expected to gather global leaders, scientists and activists to tackle mounting threats to marine ecosystems.
On the sunny shores of the French Riviera, a wave of blue-clad demonstrators filled the Promenade des Anglais this weekend, demanding greater protection for the planet's oceans. Known as the Blue March, the demonstration drew activists, NGOs and ordinary citizens united by a common message. It's time for real action.
We expect this conference to lead leaders to take concrete measures to protect the oceans, particularly in France. We're behind. We have marine protected areas that aren't truly protected, and that's the key measure we wanted to push through this march, to have marine areas that are truly protected.
From marine biodiversity to the rights of coastal communities, protesters also highlighted the urgency of ratifying the UN's Ocean Treaty and safeguarding small-scale fishers.
Today and for the next week, we'll be here to protect our oceans, to ratification of the Ocean Treaty, and just to highlight the importance of the sustainability of small-scale fishers, marine protected areas, and the coastal communities.
Nice will officially host the third United Nations Ocean Conference, known as UNOC 3, starting June 9th. Security is tight across the city, particularly along the promenade, where 86 people lost their lives in a 2016 terror attack. But this week the spotlight is on the seas. Heads of state, scientists and NGOs will address a wide range of challenges, from climate change and pollution to sustainable marine resources and biodiversity loss.
So we're trying to build a bridge between the science and the public, because sometimes it's difficult to understand what the scientists are talking about.
Hioth will be sailing in Sunday's symbolic sea parade, part of a flotilla welcoming the summit. He's not alone. The Okeanos boat will also take part, representing youth engagement and education. UNESCO's Marine Policy Chief, Julien Barbier, says the ocean is not doing very well. Rising sea levels, pollution and disputes over fishing and undersea minerals are just some of the urgent topics on the agenda. Previous conferences were held in New York in 2017 and Lisbon in 2022. But with the Mediterranean in view, all eyes now turn to Nice, where the world's ocean future is once again on the table.
Traditional rituals, millions of pilgrims and spiritual purification. Thousands of Muslims are gathering in the Holy Lands to fulfill Hajj, the fifth pillar of Islam. In Mina Valley, one of the key stages of the pilgrimage is being carried out through the ritual of the stoning of the devil.
Thousands of Muslim pilgrims took part in the stoning of the devil ritual in Mina Valley, Saudi Arabia. They threw small stones at 3 stone pillars called the Jamarat. This act reminds people of Prophet Ibrahim's fight against Satan. Hajj is one of the 5 important duties in Islam. Every Muslim who is healthy and can afford it must do Hajj at least once in their life. It shows strong faith and unity among Muslims. Hajj is also one of the biggest yearly gatherings in the world. Hajj happens in the 12th month of the Islamic calendar. This year it started on Wednesday, June 4th, and is expected to end on Monday, June 9th, depending on the moon sighting. This year, the total number of pilgrims reached 1,673,230. For the pilgrims, Hajj is not only a religious duty, but also a time for spiritual cleansing and showing Muslim unity.
Kazakhstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan have agreed to share water from Tajikistan's Bahri Tojik Reservoir during the summer of 2025. The deal covers irrigation use from June to August and aims to ease seasonal shortages. Under the new protocol, Kazakhstan alone is expected to receive nearly 500 million cubic metres of water during the peak of the agricultural season. Officials say the agreement marks a step forward in regional cooperation and sustainable water management across Central Asia. From fierce gaming battles to standout cosplay and local creativity, the Game Summit in Baku closed on a high note, spotlighting intense tournaments, impressive costumes, and a thriving community of small businesses and creators.
It's the final day of the Game Summit 2025 here in Baku. Local developers, creators and gamers have come together to celebrate the event. The atmosphere is quite vibrant as people come here to play tournaments and also showing off their cosplays.
The summit wraps up with high energy, from creative cosplay and indie showcases to intense gaming battles. Cosplayers took over the venue, dressed as their favourite characters, with some spending months perfecting every detail. Their creativity was on full display, and many were here not just to pose but to compete.
I'm doing a ghost cosplay from the game Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. I think Game Summit is a great event. The atmosphere here is amazing. The participants are very interesting, and there are quite a lot of games and various cosplays.
I'm doing a wildlife photographer cosplay. This kind of camouflage is used when photographing animals. This Games Summit stands out from the others because the atmosphere is truly great.
My cosplay is Navi, game Genshin Impact, and my cosplay is Doki Doki cosplays. Game Summit festival is so beautiful and big festival. He has cosplayers, gamers, or other fandoms, or other.
While the costumes grabbed attention, the controllers were just as busy. Tournaments ran throughout the day, with gamers going head-to-head in everything from fighting games to strategy showdowns, especially during the finals where competition reached its peak. Small businesses also had their moment. From cultural snacks to handmade items, booths across the venue offered a little bit of everything. For many, it was a rare spotlight and a chance to grow their brand in a community that gets it.
This is the eco-style of scrapbooking called junk journaling. In general, you do all sorts of different things with paper, and then you sew together little albums like this for photos, for journaling, like diaries. And the colouring should only be done with natural materials, so the paper is dyed with tea, coffee, herbs, flowers.
So not many people know our stores, but here we can show our product, and we can also give the booklet, and then many people say that, oh, I didn't know that. So it's kind of the good opportunity for us to show our stores.
We are Azerbaijan's first and only team dedicated to custom model collectibles. We participate in exhibitions like this, almost everyone in fact. Our main focus is on car-related events. Our goal is to promote and grow this hobby in Azerbaijan.
Board games were also on display, with their creators working hard to introduce them to a wider audience.
We're just attending and displaying our local built card-playing game. So we are coming here with a zero expectation, but we faced really huge and extraordinary impression and interest from the audience. So we are very glad about having some interaction with the locals right now, and it's a very exciting process right now, I can say.
After packed days of gaming, creativity and connection, the 2025 Games Summit comes to a close, leaving fans inspired and already looking ahead to next year.
To Turkey now, located in the Ibradi district of Antalya Altınbeşik Cave, has attracted great interest from tourists with its stalactites and water pools. Visitors who board boats have the opportunity to witness this natural wonder with millions of years of history up close.
The Altınbeşik Cave in Antalya offers visitors an unforgettable natural spectacle. With a history spanning millions of years, the cave stands out with its impressive stalactites and water pools. Gohan Kavuşoğlu, an employee of the Ibradi municipality, states that the temperature inside the cave remains constant at 15 degrees Celsius throughout the year, and the natural formations have been well preserved. The cave, which is 2,500 metres long and spans 3 levels, allows tourists to explore a 200-metre section by boat, navigating through water pools that reach depths of up to 40 metres while observing magnificent stalactite and travertine formations. In recent years, interest from both local and international tourists has grown, and guided tours are provided with safety measures in place. Altınbeşik Cave stands out as a unique destination for nature lovers.
Azerbaijan's national Chovken team has become European champion for the first time in history. In the tournament held in Poland, Azerbaijan's team achieved a historic victory by defeating Malta 6-2 in the final.
Azerbaijan claims historic victory at European Chovkan Championship. Azerbaijan's national Chovkan team has claimed its first ever European Championship title, marking a significant achievement in the country's sporting history. The prestigious tournament, organized by the International Chovkan Federation, took place in Poland. In the final match, Azerbaijan secured a commanding 6-2 victory over Malta. Chovkan, a traditional Azerbaijani horseback sport involving players striking a ball with wooden mallets, continues to gain international recognition. The International Chovkan Federation announced plans to expand the sport's reach with upcoming continental championships, the Asian Championship in Uzbekistan this September, the African Championship in Nigeria later that month, and the South American Championship in Buenos Aires in November. Azerbaijan's triumph is seen as a milestone in promoting and globalizing Chovkan, further solidifying its status on the international stage.
And that's the world news for the hour. Stay tuned to AnewZ for more updates and news from around the world.